All right, everybody, welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, Cody will be joining us in a little bit. He is currently working, but he's on break at the moment, but he can chime in a little bit. But we're glad to have everyone in here. So if you could like, subscribe, hit the like button on the live, share, get as many people in here because I'm sure this is a topic that's going to hit everybody. Talking about the recession, inflation indicators, and how is it affecting everyone here. So definitely we want to get as many people as we can in and definitely have a fun discussion. I'll try to shout out all your comments as I can. We don't have our moderators in just yet, but we're definitely glad to have you in here. Shout out to the real Carlos. For someone who has never invested in anything, where do I start and how do I know what to invest in? That's a good question. The first thing you really want to do is come up with a plan as to where you want to be there, buddy, and where you want to go for investing and where you want to see yourself, milestones, and everything. Best thing to do is get set up with a financial advisor, and they can help build that path. And all you got to do is follow that path. I recommend, depending on your age, it depends on what asset you want to get into. So, like if you're young, I definitely recommend, go into crypto early, then kind of once you're built some wealth there, break off and go into real estate. My next thing is to always go into real estate because real estate will help even out your cash flow and you can reinvest it back into like stocks, crypto, or businesses or anything like that. I started with basically investing in betterment and Wealthfront, just funds, while I was working my 9 to 5 jobs in corporate America. And then I built up enough savings to start a business and then used the business to invest in real estate and then use the real estate money to invest in crypto and stocks and things like that and just slowly grew. But if you don't know where to start, the best thing to do is get yourself a financial advisor because that'll definitely help put you on the right path. Shout out to Dee Dee. I traveled the U.S. a lot. I heard many accents. I don't feel you have an accent. Yeah, I don't feel like it either, except for I guess when I get closer. If you've been a lot in New Jersey, I am from Central New Jersey, so I know the one few differences we say instead of saying like Trenton, which is the actual word, we say Trenton. So that's the only thing I could say. And some of the New York vibe does rub off like important. It's a little bit more pronounced, things like that, but it's pretty much bland. But I get that a lot from being in the South here. I told I have an accent. Best part is when I say water. So I know a lot of people say water, I guess, but I can't even. I have to force myself to say it the way everyone else said, because in New Jersey, everyone just says water. It's like got water ice. It's almost like a fluent one word, but hey, it is what it is there. But glad to have you in here. Shout out to Lord Black. Glad to have you in here, buddy. And thank you for your support there. Hopefully, we can have a good conversation and get this party started because we were talking a lot about the inflation and how inflation's and the recession fears are looming in people's minds and how it's going to affect the holiday season, how it's going to affect everything. Shout out to Mark Park, Fly Eagles Fly. Yeah, I guessing they're having a good season. I don't know. I'm a Giants fan. So as soon as the Giants lose their first two games, I check out of football. That's really it. I don't think the Giants will have a good season for another 10, 15 years. But hey, it is what it is. I don't really follow sports that much anyway. But some of the indicators that we're going to be talking about over recession, and now a lot of people saying, "Oh, we're going into recession. We're going into recession." My numbers, my analysis over running my businesses, we've been in recession since July of last year was when it started because that's when I noticed we were going down by like 10 to 15%, no matter how hard we tried, and then all of a sudden. When like May of this year hit, all of a sudden just dropped significantly, and now we're slowly starting to pick up. So I think we're climbing out of this recession. Not entirely sure yet, but I think we're climbing out of this recession. I have to see. We'll have to get another month of numbers. I have to see how December goes with my businesses to see if I think we're coming out of recession. But I do know this is that the biggest indicator for a recession is usually the mattress stores, and the mattress stores, the small ones, are starting to close their doors. So like we're getting a lot of the small timers, like the anyone who has like five or less stores is starting to shrink or have problems. There are some that are like 10 to 15 that grew too fast and then now they're starting to pull back. But I do notice a lot of the mom and pop mattress and furniture stores are starting to close their doors. And that's because it's just been slow. I mean, they used to like there's one guy who was local. He used to give me about 10 deliveries a week. Then it went to five. And this was from 2019. We were steady 10. Then when 2020, 2021 came around, we were steady 20, about 20, 25 deliveries a week. And then all of a sudden, 2023 hit and we went down to 10. And then from September, we were at like five deliveries a month. And that's when I knew, okay, the mattress stores, which is a recession proof industry for many, many decades, is now suffering. And why it's suffering is because people can't afford to get new places to rent. People can't afford to buy a home. People can't afford to do a lot of things. So they're not going out there and spending another $2,000 on the mattress. Because the most common thing, especially owning a moving company, is people go out, when they get their new home, they immediately go and they get new mattresses. It's just something we do, apparently. So what's gonna happen is that after these once that wave of door shutters is going to come through, the next wave of closings is going to be like smaller localized furniture stores, like in real small towns. They're going to start closing their doors because unfortunately most business owners are subject to human sensibilities. So when we have a lot of success, we think we're doing everything right and we think it will never end. And so they start pulling money out of the business and not setting aside money to save those businesses. So those are going to go out. Also, I noticed that mattress manufacturers and furniture manufacturers are no longer giving free shipments. You got to pay for those. So I see a lot of furniture stores, they're picking up now. They're trying to do it themselves. They're trying to save wherever they can to keep their business and their margins where they want. But another good indicator is, when you go into a gas station, they're not busy anymore. They, like last year, they were busy. Like during the peak times of the day, always full, people getting gas, everyone's there. Now
Facts.
I'm looking at the gas stations, they're starting to look like a third capacity. So that means people are just getting just enough gas to make it through a couple days, or they're just getting gas and they're not going into convenience store anymore. Because what the biggest draw when I worked at Wawa many years ago, almost 20 years ago, I worked at Wawa, and the biggest draw was people would come in, get gas, and then go in and get a sandwich and drink and coffee and things like that. Now it seems like those things are curbing. I did take a look at Wawa's price, which is a northeastern convenience store and gas chain, and their numbers are starting to pull back flat. I think they're down. They're starting to go down from last year. I noticed a lot of big furniture companies or retailers are starting to go flat or negative in sales growth. We have Walmart starting to tighten up. We have Amazon starting to tighten up. We have a lot of shipment companies starting to tighten up. We have layoffs left and right. Not a lot of people are paying attention either. Is that we had 42 mid-sized cap trucking companies and logistics companies close their doors in the last 6 months. So it's not counting just yellow like the big ones, but there's a lot that had 100 truckers, 50 truckers, 200 truckers, or 1,000 employees all gone. And now I could tell they're gone because I'm getting calls from all these random trucking places or manufacturers saying, "Hey, we need to ship this, we need to ship this," because they're just going down the list of MC numbers trying to pick whomever they can find to get their orders fulfilled and delivered. Because the longer it takes for them to get their orders out, the more man, oh, what's in my eye? The longer it takes for them to get those orders out, the more money they have to give back to their customers for the wait. So they're trying not to lose money, and then that's going to cascade because then, of course, they're going to have to start giving money back. Then they're going to have to cut margins, and it's just going to start trickling down. And the biggest indicator to that we are kind of coming to the bottom is finally the real estate agents are starting to crumble. And when I say crumble, like we talked briefly about this earlier today, but they're crumbling because they basically suffered the lifestyle glitch, which is they got in at a boon in the economy or in a specific area of industry, made a lot of money, thought this was going to be the norm of their life, reestablished it, and this norm lasted about 3 years. So people thought, oh, this is how real estate agents make money. This is great. Not realizing that most real estate agents make shit money over many years till they actually make some good money or they get out of the market because 99% of real estate agents actually suck at their job. Yeah, I just hate to say it. And I'm sure if you're a real estate agent, you know a lot of people that are bad at their job. Maybe you aren't as good as you think you are. There's a lot of things, especially if because I have some top performer real estate agents that funnel me business and they're funneling me nonstop. And I have other people talking about there's a market crash. And that market crash, it's happening, but we're back to the times where if you want to earn a lot of money, you got to work for it, and it's not easy money anymore. It ain't easy. It isn't just wake up and make 100 grand anymore in real estate. It's wake up and hit the grind. Shout out to Michael Elliott. Welcome back in, buddy. Glad to have you in here. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while either, and I have been busy back and forth on my lives, with my moving company and logistics company because we've just been nonstop. So throughout today, I was mainly in the office, but yesterday, after I did that stream, I went out to my warehouse and did a whole shit ton of cleaning up the warehouse, reorganizing, counting inventory, things like that. So I've been a little busy, but glad to have you back in here. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. Shout out to your Renaissance, another great supporter back in here. And shout out to Mark. Welcome back. Thanks for supporting the live. Really appreciate you joining in there, buddy, as we continue on with this live here. So these real estate agents are now suffering the crunch because now I'm starting to look. Because I'm constantly I'm tagged in their posts and I'm constantly in the groups. I also see that on Facebook they're starting to sell those, the Mercedes that they got, the Cadillac that they got, the BMW that they got, all these cars. They're starting to sell them. They're starting to sell them off, and or trying to sell them off. And what's going to happen is that nobody's buying cars right now unless you absolutely need to buy a car. And then on top of that, they're buying a shit box. They're not trying to come out here and spend $40,000-$50,000 on like a 12%, 15% auto loan to get a car they don't really need when they can go get a car for cash for 5,000 and run that junker into the ground and then just repeat the process for another couple years. Because that's probably going to be the best thing that's going to come out of this economy is that those junkers are going to have a lot of money, are going to be worth a little bit more, and people are going to focus on those. But definitely shout out to all you guys. Thanks so much for all your support in here as I see more and more people are climbing in. And if you guys want to give us a subscribe on YouTube, definitely join us in. The link is in the bio right up there on the camera. You can follow the Instagram, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. So what's this going to happen is that's going to put pressure on. We're already having a bad repossession market, and it's going to put even more pressure on the inventory of repossessed cars, the overabundance of inventory that's happening right now. Banks aren't lending money anymore. They're asking for more money in deposits from businesses that are doing well. I just had a local bank ask if I could put some of the money I have in reserved for my business with their bank as well, and collateralize their deposits and things like that. So their banks are looking all over the place to get money where they can, how they can, with what they can, and they're not trying to lend money to anyone but prime credit candidates. It's unfortunate, but the days of getting a loan, a good auto loan for a good car for someone with 650 credit is probably gone. You're probably going to need to have like 750 or higher to even get any type of loan, any restructuring or anything. So we're definitely seeing a pinch on that. And I don't think people understand, like, it's all brewing, and this stuff takes time. It's not going to happen next week. It's not going to happen this year. It might not even happen in the beginning of the year, but sometime March or April, all this stuff is going to circle. It's like we're circling the drain. It's like it's all coming together. It's all coming together. And once all those things kind of wedge together, then we'll finally hit the bottom of the recession. But it's going to wipe out anyone who overspent, overbought, overfinanced, over anything. See, with my businesses, I don't like to buy at the peak of the market. Like I've only bought trucks when absolutely necessary. But now I'm in the position, I got about coming up on $6 million set aside with my moving and logistics business. That when one of my competitors crumbles, which I have my sights on one, and I know because they bought 10 trucks at the peak of the market, and now they're suffering because the business is not enough to maintain that fleet, and they already gave away half the fleet. They are suffering problems because the first thing I noticed with them is they bought up a lot of trucks. They bought up a lot of service vehicles. They did all this stuff, and what's happening is that market's going backwards. And now, as the market's kind of deflating, more and more companies, they're starting to let go of inventory or their physical assets, and then of course they're going to declare bankruptcy. Now, the reason why this company I know is going to declare bankruptcy is because they bought their lifestyle, and basically instead of the company facilitating the growth of the company, it was just facilitating their lifestyle. So that can only last so long. Eventually that style will pop, and eventually it will run out of room. Shout out to Callie, welcome in, glad to have you in here. It is open forum, speak your mind. If you guys want, I've tried to catch your guys' comments as they come in. Shout out to Cha. Might pick up some USTC. We're not really talking about what cryptos or stocks we're picking up, but definitely join us in the mornings for our morning market news where we talk all of that. Shout out to Mike 2.0. Glad to have you in here. Welcome back. Another one of our great supporters. So it's looking like we're kind of getting ready for that big bottom out of businesses, and that's where I'm saving a lot of my business's capital is to buy out my competitors. So when we start having dips in this area, it's good for people like me who waited. So now that I've waited, I can get better prices on property. I can get better prices on because I got a leasing company that offered me first 3 payments are waived. They'll take care of them on the lease. 100,000 mile warranty, 5-year powertrain warranty. This is on box trucks, and free set of new tires. That's pretty good. I know in 2019 nobody was offering that, and the reason why is everybody's trying to sell their box trucks. I mean, I can go on Facebook Marketplace and just see box truck after box truck after box truck after box truck after box truck just constantly on there because all the gurus, all the stuff, all the talk, everything, it's all over. It's all over for those guys, and they couldn't make the money that they thought. They have to work really hard now. Shipping costs are rising. What you can earn off of shipments is going down. Fuel rates going up. Insurance rates going up. Next year starts overtime exemption. The transportation and moving industry will no longer be overtime exempt. So that's going to cause another huge spike because you can no longer get avocados from California and Mexico up to New York City. So New York is going to be no more avocados because how it worked was you would drive that truck pretty much 48 hours straight to get it up there. So that way they don't spoil. Now, well, if they go overtime, I mean, that's going to you're going to hit that driver's going to hit their overtime and you got to pay them going back. It is kind of is what it is, kind of is what it's going to be now. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Another one of our great supporters. Also, go to his channel and Crypto Dream and subscribe to him. I'm trying to help him get to 500 subscribers. Shout out to LJ. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Thanks for joining the live today. Hope you enjoy my chat about the recession and everything. So, but now that we already went over some of the indicators of things that are happening that are signaling that we're coming to the bottom of this recession, we also got to talk about interest rates because so many people are talking about they're going to drop interest rates. Interest rates are going to go back down. They are not. They are going to skyrocket. They are going to go up. Interest rates are going to go up, 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 up. That's it. We're going to go up. That's all we're going to. That's all they're going to do. They may not rise them recent in a little bit, but they will get there. They will start rising them. I would say probably February they'll start rising them again. Shout out to Knowledge. Hey, buddy. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here. Hope you enjoy this live, and thank you so much for all your support and everything. Glad to have you in here. So the inflation is only going to go up. I anticipated going up to like between 8 and 10%. Not inflation, I'm sorry. The interest rates, because inflation is still rising and it's artificially suppressed by the amount by them releasing the oil from the reserves and keeping the energy prices down. Also, we're not taking into account the student loans that people no longer can afford. So those $500 to $700, $800 monthly payments, those have kicked in, and we're only in the second month of default. So now we're in 60 days. And with jobs closing down, I mean, we're headed. It seems like we're headed for a black swan event. You guys let me know how you guys feel about that. But it seems like we're headed to a black swan event where everything's going to like whoosh around collapse in on itself and then explode outward. It's going to be a rough like 6 to 8 months. I have a feeling when everything collides in, we're going to have a rough 6 to 8 months. I recommend everyone to, along with their dollar cost averaging into their investments, to make sure you're putting away money for your reserve fund as much as humanly possible, because everything is coming together. The real estate agents, 90% of them are headed towards bankruptcy. Brokerage firms are closing up their extra offices that they opened 2 years ago. We also have like all the businesses around it, like the photographers, the people who do all the films, editing on. They're going to start running out of jobs and declaring bankruptcy. So the default rate's already starting. The chain has already started. If you can, I would recommend getting a second job. If you can hustle it, find ways, earn more money, get a side hustle, do what you got to do, because you don't want to be in that position where you lose your main job, you have no savings, and now you're forced to start thinking about how you're going to get money because you can't go get a job. And what people aren't talking about is there's a lot of people still trying to fight coming back to a 9 to 5, while also 9 to 5 jobs are being removed, gutted, and laid off. And then on top of all of that, we have AI taking away some of the menial jobs, like some warehousing jobs, secretarial jobs, assistant jobs, office assistant, office clerk. They're taking away those jobs. So we're in for a wild ride for 2024. It seems like everything is just kind of going to bump together. Don't know when it's going to happen, but it feels like it's going to happen sometime in March, April, or May. Most likely end of March, early April. Shout out to Mike, the Chick Pro. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. And help us we're so close to 2,000. Hopefully we can get there in the next couple of days. We're at like over 1920 followers. So hopefully we can get to 2,000. That'd be great. And of course, our goal on TikTok is to get to 3,000 so we can get more and more people in on these lives. But as you know, most people don't like finance, and it kind of goes under the radar. And I think I'm pretty much shadow banned on TikTok right now because the last couple posts aren't going anywhere. I think I usually get about 400 or 500 per every post, and the one I did about XRP only got 11 today for the whole day. So not looking too good. But here we are. We're going to keep on trucking. So I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm going to start opening it up for open forum. I know we got Cody in here, so shout out to Cody. He's the other half of Simply Investing. Definitely give his channel a follow on TikTok, CodyHarris.eth. And we're definitely going to open up. How do you guys feel about the economy? Do you think there's a recession? How do you want to know how to prepare? Things like that. Shout out to Knowledge. What's up, Cody? Definitely. He is here. He's at work, so he might not be able to respond. But shout out to Crypto Cleaner. Welcome back in. Thanks for coming in, buddy. It just takes time. You put out good information. Well, thank you. It's just 20 years of knowledge, and also talking to people who've been in business, who've been in business for 40 years before me, and learning to pick their minds and how they handled the past recessions. Because my parents, especially my dad, went through the oil crisis, the 82 crash, the 87 crash, the 93 real estate crash. And of course, I've been around for the .com crash, 2008. So it's like seeing how they had to go through that, and that kind of gives me some viewpoints on that. But if you guys want to come up on the YouTube side, you can go click the link in the bio, go join YouTube. I dropped the link if you want to join in. I got a little bit of time because I'm about ready to head out early. Got to do some laundry. Got to get prep my bag so I can drive back to New Jersey. Shout out to Crypto Dream. I don't know where to start researching this. I heard the recession doesn't hit until 11 months after they finish raising rates. Um, it's really hard to research the recession and research because everybody's got their own opinion. But what from I notice is by the time you start saying a recession is coming, the recession is already here. It's already here. It's just not as you just don't notice it because like we're kind of like a frog in a boiling pot of water. As the water starts to heat up, we don't know. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me one. Just get some calls in there, some fan members. um, so we don't know when the next recession. We don't notice it kicking in until it's like all of a sudden it's affecting us really negatively. So kind of like the frog in the boiling pot of water, it doesn't know that it's being boiled until the water is too hot already. That's kind of how a recession is. We're in the recession. We just don't notice it because we're already in it. It's very hard to it's very hard to self analyze if we're in a recession. Sal to low strung. Thanks for supporting the live. Really appreciate that. How do you feel about Proppy? Not too sure if that's a stock or a crypto. I haven't heard about it, so I couldn't tell you how I feel about it. We'll have to do some research. Maybe tomorrow I can bring it out on our morning live tomorrow. If I can do one, if I don't do a live tomorrow, I'll definitely be alive on Wednesday when we get in. But hey, thanks for tuning in. I hope you like and follow, subscribe to us and follow so you can get the updates for when the lives come. The next live when the lives announced there. But back to not noticing a recession, it's like you can't really research it. You can only understand how a recession and bad economic times come from already participating and being in one. And that's when you start learning and understanding things how things operate. So that's why I say like this isn't going to be as bad as 2008 where everything just kind of came to a standstill. This is going to be a drop, but it's going to feel bad because we're coming from such a high level. Like we had so much free money, so much everything. All that money has now got to exit out of the system. And what they're doing is we're just going back to normal because the normal unemployment rate was like 10 to 12%. Sometimes it'd be at 8, sometimes it'd be at 6. But right now, I think we're at like 3.5 or 3.9% unemployment. And that number needs to go up. And every time they raise the interest rates, the unemployment rates go up. Also, it's going to affect the tech industry too, because a lot of the tech companies are going to go bust because they're all zombie companies. They just borrow money to survive. They don't actually have a workable product or anything like that. It's just something. They're just there. So eventually, they're going to pop and disappear. I wouldn't be surprised if Silicon Valley reduces by 70% at the end of this because there's no more innovation. It's all done. All you got is AI and a few companies. That bubble's about ready to pop, and before you know it, San Francisco will level out because there'll be nobody there. And if no one's there to pump money into the system, then that system's going to collapse. So watch them start cleaning up that crime in that city once the population and everything goes down. But Crypto Dream has a good point. You can't really it's hard to research the indicators of a recession because you can't go read a book about it. You have to live in bad economic times to be able to understand where they're coming from. Shout out to Sam. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Have you heard about the BOI report being forced on business owners, 5 million or less revenue, LLCs and small businesses? I haven't heard about that. That's news to me. Um, let's take a look at that. Let's see if we can find anything. Huh. Let's see here. So with filings starting January, they'll be required to report daily information about their ownership, get ahead of the upcoming mandate. Oh yeah, I do my accounting. My accountant does all this stuff for me. It's a 510,005 and 2 years in jail time. That's true. I mean, they're trying to get. My guess is they're trying to gather more information about everyone's business, but we'll have to see. For now, you'll kind of have to do it. But I have a feeling this will be found unconstitutional because you don't have to report the details of your ownership for a privately held company. You only have to do it for a publicly traded company. And yeah, I agree. The fine is insane, but you got to realize, like, a $10,000 fine. If I don't do it, well, a $10,000 fine is kind of like, oh well, oh well. And I have a good lawyer, and probably will argue that it's unconstitutional, and I probably won't get any jail time. But obviously, I pay an accountant to handle all this, so that's what I will do. I'll pay an accountant; they'll take care of it, and they'll report everything. But it's pretty interesting because I don't hear about this stuff because I just report it. I just make sure I pay for. I have a very reputable accountant that does everything for my businesses, that makes sure everything's in the right space. So I don't miss my filings. I don't miss anything. I pay all my taxes. We do. I will admit this though. We do, because we actually make more in interest not paying the yearly tax to Arkansas than the penalties. So we just pay it like 5 months late because you make more holding the money for an extra 5 months in our reserve accounts than paying Arkansas. But and until they stop bullying me. Fun fact: I have a video that will debut on Patreon, but in the beginning, like, I think it was like start of year two, I had the assistant general attorney of Arkansas falsely accused my business of being guilty. And when we found that we had all our ducks in a row and everything, and they caused significant harm, Arkansas paid a lot. And I got quite a few people, quite a few lawyers who just started their lawyer career disbarred and can never practice law again. So I may not look like it. And that's why I piss off a lot of lawyers, is because you don't have to be a lawyer to read a law book and understand it. You don't have to. I can read it just as well as you can, if not better. I come from an Ivy League pedigree, so I'm going to figure that shit out. So, but it's always good just to make sure you pay for everything. But sometimes, like, because I know Walmart pays their taxes on the very last day. Like, I think they pay them on August 31st, last year's taxes, because what's Arkansas going to do? Like, really, what's Arkansas going to do to Walmart? You ain't going to do nothing. So just sit back and wait. And I don't even think they even pay any fines or fees. Shout out to Fully Anonymous. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Shout out to Sam. That really comes in handy, especially when challenges come up. Yeah. You always want to make sure that you can understand the law as good as a lawyer can, so that way you can defend yourself. Because trust me, a lot of lawyers, they're a dime a dozen, and they prey on their opponent's ignorance. And when they see that you're not ignorant and you can outpace them, you're going to win every case. I have won between my mother and myself through court cases. And trust me, we had a lot of court cases with my moving company, with people failing to pay, employees not understanding the terms of a salary position, people stealing from us, people stealing from our clients, people damaging stuff. Like, I just had a lawsuit where they got thrown out because he said that we didn't pay him, but we took back money from his check because he was driving the box truck while drunk and high off of marijuana and meth, and crashed it into a hotel. And I did not feel that I should have to pay. I should have to be responsible for paying that. So instead of him just saying, well, keep the last check and move on, because I still had like a $10,000 bill for the truck afterwards, I took him to small claims court and won. And then he sued, and I took the lawsuit. And once again, I proved the frivolous of it. And basically, you don't want to come up against me. If you're a lawyer You don't want to come up against me because I'll be a blemish on your record because I don't lose. I only win when it comes to those cases because and I've been in courts where I've had to be on depositions where I hit the stand and had to be grilled by a high-powered New York attorney. So I've been, I've already lived the life where people question my intelligence, question my memory, question my status, question everything. So I can stay calm under that. Most people can. So that's where I get them. But I always recommend make sure you read the law and understand it. Shout out to Crypto Cleaner. Yeah, they learn as they go too. A lot of them learn as they go, especially since if you get a new attorney, read through their paperwork because they're make grammatical errors, and you can knock down their argument just off of where commas are placed because it's worded differently. Just food for thought. Shout out to Knowledge, my man. Hey, yeah, you gotta. Unfortunately, you can't trust anyone, even a lawyer that you pay for. Make sure you understand everything. A lot of the times, I'm just telling my lawyer, "Hey, this is how we're going to attack. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to win," and it always works out. And she makes a lot of money. I pay her $15,000 a month in retainer to do all that, but she also does contract work, look over contracts, everything. So she does a ton of that stuff. Shout out to I'm just going to call you YFC. So welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Do you take any trade? Uh, I'm guessing you're trying to say, do you make any trades? Cody and I really just do long-term holds. We're more of like buy and hold and sell a few years down the road or years down the road. When we hit our profit targets, we don't really like try to time the market like that. We just dollar cost average. If the market's going up, we dollar cost average a lot less. If the market's going down, we dollar cost average. We ramp up our dollar cost averaging. Shout out to Sam. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, have some crazy stories I got to share with you guys on there. Shout out to Bud. See you in here. Welcome in. Glad to have you as a supporter in here. Um, So yeah, I haven't really heard about this, but it's food for thought. I can ask my accountant that in December when I get my P&L reports for all my businesses. I work that guy to death. Other than one other client, we both myself and his other client, because we have multiple businesses. He works very hard. He is worth every penny of it. Every penny of his expenses. So, and that kind of goes to show you that like as you build wealth, you are actually building other people wealth. Shout out to Knowledge. Cody's still buying Ethereum. What's going on with Ethereum? We're still buying Ethereum. I bought about 10 grand worth of Ethereum today in the morning. I know Cody's still dollar cost averaging into it, but we're focused also more on the other alts, although we really don't consider Ethereum an alt, but we definitely will let you know if we stop buying Ethereum because that's like a major buy. We're not gonna hide that from anybody when we stop buying it. But I believe you should have it because it has a good return on ROI for the bull run, especially since everybody's going to need it in their wallets. You're going to have to buy it to trade the altcoin, so people are going to need it. I don't see it going like you're not going to get the same return on AOR on Ethereum as you would on cash, but I keep a reasonable amount of Ethereum in my wallets so I can trade and move out stuff. Shout out to Crypto Dream. I'd rather be your friend than in your path of wrath. True. I'd rather be amicable and friendly to everybody, but sometimes some people, I know I have a very like I guess soft disposition of a face. So people think, and I'm very young, so people don't think I'm 40 and have a ton of life experience. They think they can just barrel over me, and then when they find out that they can't do that, that's when the fun starts. Shout out to Sam. If I see any duplicate accounts of yours, I'll let you know. Oh, definitely, and
Hey, Sal.
definitely let me know. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm able to talk right now. But I just saw an article about Bitcoin passing Ethereum in transaction volumes for the first time in 2020. So I guess this is a big thing that BTC is surpassing ETH in volume because it's saying for the first time since 2020. I'll leave the link in the article to the private chat, and you can bring that up and we can talk about it since we're on that topic.
Oh yeah, that's a good one to definitely talk about. uh yeah, but Sam, thank you so much for joining in. Yeah, if you do see duplicate accounts of anybody, definitely just flag them because I
You know
won't
you're
ask.
doing.
I'm sorry.
I said you know you're doing well when you got dupe accounts, and also I sent
Oh
that
yeah.
link to the private chat.
Yep, I'm going to get that up here in just a second. Um, yeah, so yeah, you know that you're starting to hit well when I start getting duplicate accounts. I even saw one follow me. I was like, what the hell? How did I follow myself? And I looked over, I was like, oh, it's a fake account. So, and just we just gotta flag them. But I'll let you guys know. I don't need to ask for your money to invest or offer you investments. That's not what I do. All we do about this channel is talk about our wins and losses and our opinions on what we're investing in, what we think we're going to invest in, how the markets are going. We're not going to ask you for anything. We don't even really pitch our Patreon that much. If you guys want to, you can. There is some benefits to it, but we don't even really pitch it that much. Like our goal is just to have fun having these lives, giving you guys good content, getting a chat with you, and hopefully, some of you guys, we might be able to change your course and path. And shout out to Reptile King. Uh, well, I'm sorry you had that hot chip there. I hope you can get some milk because it's probably the only thing that's going to save that. Um, I can't even get to anything, any spicy chips because my brother eats them all. Well, as you guys know, my brother and I, we kind of share a residence, and that's how we been building wealth ever since. Like he worked, I worked, and then we started buying rental properties. We built the business together, and before you know it, now we're about ready to go out to living separately. But my brother and I are thinking about buying two houses in a newer community that are like right next to each other, and it's I think it's going to be pretty fun. Um, Shout out to Knowledge ETH 15K in the bull run. Probably, I'm expecting between 12 and 15K as well. Um, I think anything higher than that would be a little bit of a push, but it's very possible that Ethereum can hit those. That's why I'm holding my Ethereum. Shout out to Sam. You have to defend yourself and have the right to do so. Absolutely. Yeah, but yogurt, ice cream, milk, anything of that to cool off the tongue. Yeah, it sucks if you're not used to that stuff, but the only way to get used to it is to expose yourself to it. Shout out to Crypto Dream. When Wendy O got kicked from her Instagram because of a fake, she she has a trademark on her name. She got it back. Yeah, it's even been happening to a lot of well-known celebrities too. Like they've been getting hit with that and taken down. Or I know some other YouTubers are getting hit with that, especially ones in the finance area. So I don't really focus on Instagram too much, although I do post occasionally on there. As soon as I get the TikTok lives going, then I can kind of move over, use the phone for Instagram, kind of do for TikTok for you guys, and because I think TikTok will give us the link to put on the streaming platform when we get to 3,000 followers. So but it is what it is. We're just on that road to grind. Shout out to Sam. One chip challenge for 2022 was nasty, metallic tasting. I never did it, but it looked unpleasant, so I never tried it. So I'm man enough to say that. But here's the article that Cody was talking about. Bitcoin's daily transaction fees surpassed Ethereum's for the first time since 2020. I did see the volume is going up. I think it's just generated from so many people buying. Let me take a pull up KuCoin here. See what the buying rate for Bitcoin is. There we go. We're still in the 37K 500 mark. But yeah, the average buy order is zero point 0.1, the average sell order is 0.3. So yeah, it's starting to rise up. Let's take a look at it for the hour chart. Yep, 4 hours. Yeah, we're on the rise again with Bitcoin. So yeah, the volume's going. It looks like the volume's going up because people are starting to buy and hold. Man, there's a little bit of sell off as people are taking profits. Because if you got in the 16K range, you doubled your money. So take some profits. Shout out to Reptile King. What do you think of the crypto market? I think it's going pretty strong. I just think that we're in for correction soon, but macro events are going to might either prolong the relief rally or shorten it. It depends. All the things I talked about early on in the stream, it depends when all of those start like bashing into each other and start affecting the markets because then crypto's going to be the first one to crash or I shouldn't say crash. I should have a correction. But I can already see a correction going on. We got Solana down 8.5% on the hot coins right now. So like Doge, Solana, Avalanche, Shiba Coin. Yeah, they're all down pretty good. Like the coins I talked about this morning to be careful of, they're all down about 9% right now. So that means you would have lost 10 cents on every dollar if you had put it in. Even CASP was down 10%, almost 10%. So you just want to be kind of careful, or as long as it's in your plan that you know that your dollar cost averaging in anyway, then you're in the clearest. But as soon as we get back into like the low 20s fear, I will probably start dollar cost averaging heavy like I did in 2022, where I
Pull
was
up
putting like 80% of my value into it. What'd you say there, Cody?
pull up Hex's chart just for curiosity, since we're talking about alts
Hex.
being down like 10%. I'm curious to see what the percentage down that is, or up if it is up.
It's down almost 4.5% on the day. It's down
Four and a
16%
half.
on the week. Yeah, it's down 16% on the week, 30% on the month, 80% on the year. Now let's just take Dot for instance, right? Because all hexagons talk shit about Dot. So you know, on the day, on the week, you're down 1.3%, down 2.5% on the day, 1.3% on the week. On the month, though, it's up 35%. For the year, it's kind of flat because we're kind of back to where we were when we started. But I have a feeling we're going to start spiking again. And if you look at it's definitely outperforming Hex. I mean, Hex has just been going backwards. Let's take a look again at Hex. Let's take a look at all. Yeah, it's going down like crazy. It
Um,
was it was closer to 1 cent. I think
what
when
I've
was
noticed is I haven't seen the Hex Army join our streams recently.
yeah, I haven't seen them either, but you know, I don't know. We'll have to see because we'll have to see what happens with the SEC lawsuit against Richard Hart. So we'll have to see how that goes with that. And then we'll give updates on Wednesday about that too. Shout out to Crypto Cleaner. How do you recommend how to learn to trade? A lot of what I learned how to trade and pick stocks and pick things I want to invest in is just from life experiences. I and from because I have a degree in finance and economics and I have a minor in math. So that helps a lot in trading. But to really learn how to trade, you have to kind of work a corporate job, a 9 to 5, because you have to understand the decisions that they're making, why they're making those decisions, why are the clients that company has making their decisions. And it's the same thing because when I go out into the real world and I start noticing that a lot of people have the same thing. Okay, why did they buy that? What made them want to buy that? How's their marketing doing? What is that company? Look up the company. How long has it been in business? What are they doing? Things like that. So, I mean, I might have a natural knack for it, I guess, but at the same time, it's not you're not going to learn it in 30 days. It's going to take a couple years, and I recommend working a 9 to 5 corporate job, especially if you can get like a management job. That's a good place to go to learn how companies operate, run, make money, P&L sheets, things like that. Shout out to Reptile King. How do you recommend how to learn crypto? I learned from I had a Cody taught me a lot about the crypto he understood and was involved in. I also learned from Benjamin Cohen. There's another guy on there. I keep forgetting his name, but he's very boring. He's very monotone, holistic voice, so he's very boring, but he knows his information. I'm in a couple other places. Coin Bureau
You're
is
talking
another.
about Coin Bureau. Yep.
Coin Bureau is a good place. They don't really give like a biased review point on crypto. They don't shill any coins really. They just do deep dives on specific coins,
Guy
projects,
on
and things like that.
guy on Coin Bureau, he doesn't really like quant. He says that he could see it pumping because they're like the enthusiasts, but he says he doesn't really like quant just because they dabble into CBDCs.
Yeah, and in kind of the same way, but I'm investing in quant because I believe quant has a market use, but also because smart money is involved in it. But I learned it through that. Let me just pull up my go to my YouTube channel here so you could see here. I want to pull up my company. Let's see here. Subscriptions. Can I go to there? Okay, there we go. All right. So the ones that I've been watching, because what happened to Common Sense is another good one I watch. All in Crypto is another good one I watch. Crypto Mason, I like watching him, although he has a little bit of a bias, but he's pretty good. I also have watch Benjamin Cohen, and then I just follow like Polkadot has its own channel, Chainlink has its own channel. A lot of the main blue chip cryptos have their own channel, so you can learn. They described what they're doing, things like that. Um, but that's really it. I watch a lot of videos, and then after got done watching the videos there, Reptile King, I also started reading the white papers of every crypto and understand looking up the terms and understanding the terms. And so that way, and I'm still learning. There's still a lot I need to learn because there's a lot of people who know way more than I do about crypto. So I just know the projects I'm invested in, and that's really all I stay focused on. But that's definitely a good question. I think we're going to pretty much call it for this evening. I only wanted to be on for an hour, and we're on for about an hour. I know Cody's got to get back to work. He's got a few more hours before he's done, and I got to start doing laundry and packing for my road trip tomorrow back to New Jersey. It's going to be fun. Definitely going to post as I go along that trip as I bring my dogs and my brother and mom come drive back with us. We're going to alternate, take turns. No, stay longer. I wish because I'm in charge of picking up the pizza too. My brother ordered pizza and wants me to pick it up, so I'm gonna have to make sure I get that. Shout out to your Renaissance. I heard a rumor that Quant is the next to be sued due to pre-sales. Could be true. Could be true. But if that's the case, I'll buy more because all they have to do is refer to the XRP case, and it'll be a drawn out thing, but it'll make that price ever so sweet. Like if that happens, the price suppression will bring it down to under 50, and I will be buying the crap ton out of it when it gets under 50. I'll be putting in like as much as I can. I'll forsake the other cryptos to put into it. And of course, that will also affect Chainlink and a few others that are out there, but that's just the nature of the crypto industry. The market will go down a little bit if that happens, but we'll also have to see. So would shout to Reptile King, would you be on tomorrow morning? I might be early morning though. We have to see what our plan is. And shout out to your Renaissance. You're welcome, buddy. I don't see it being bad because JP Morgan didn't put in all that money and Bank of America and all that into quant so that they can lose it all and just run away when the SEC comes. So they'll win that case. It'll probably take a couple of years, but they'll win the case and we'll get great prices. And for the next bull run, we'll just have bigger bags for when it hits the price it's supposed to hit. So, but shout out to Reptile King. If I'm on, I'll be on at 7 a.m. Central Time, so 8 a.m. for you, buddy. I just don't know yet if I'm going to do it or not. I'll probably post it, give a video saying whether I'm going to be on or not. But definitely really appreciate you guys joining in. Definitely had a great great chat with you guys. Help support the channel, like and subscribe. Every live is always sponsored by the like button. Really appreciate you guys. And likes and subscribes are free, and we hope you guys enjoy it and follow us. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys, have a good financial journey. Talk with the right professionals. Make sure you get a financial planner. Really come up with a plan for your financial success, and make sure that you invest in projects that you know and understand. Don't moonshot your life savings into something you don't understand just because there's potential there. But thank you, Reptile King. I'll have a safe and fun journey. And I hope you enjoy your fall break, because I knew when I was back in school, those fall breaks, I wanted to just forget about school and just not do anything but school during those fall breaks. So I feel you on that. Enjoy that. And everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family. Family is very important, because never forget, because not everybody that in your family will be with you all your life. So just remember that. Cherish the memories that you have with your family. With that said, guys, thanks for joining in. Really appreciate everything, all your support and everything that you do for us. And we look forward to seeing you on the next live. Definitely stay tuned. Shout out to Reptile King. What are y'all going to be doing down there? Well, I'm going back up to New Jersey and just really Thanksgiving and relaxing. That's really all I'm gonna do. It's really been like 10 years since I had a vacation. So yeah. 2000. Oh no, 8 years. So 2016 was in the last vacation I took, which was a family reunion, which is kind of exhausting. I didn't really get to sleep a lot. But anyway, thank you guys. Definitely have a wonderful time. As always, a Reptile King, I'm always in my office. Although I'll probably be in a hotel, or maybe not if we make it, get the trip done in one day with all three of us driving. Maybe at my family home where all my parents are. What state am I in right now? Arkansas. Good old Arkansas, Arkansas, I guess. But with that said, guys, thank you so much. I will check you guys later. Have a wonderful evening.